Hello student, I am Dr. Barun from Medico Patna, and the today class is the endocrine system. So endocrine means there is a release of hormone, and hormone is maybe protein, maybe steroid, and maybe amino acid derivatives. So the amino acid derivative is mainly adrenaline, noradrenaline, thyroxine. These are arise from the tyrosine amino acid, and melatonin and serotonin is releases from the tryptophan amino acid. And the protein hormone is such as growth hormone, FSH, LH, insulin, glucagon, thyrocalcitonin. So these are the protein hormones. And the some is a steroidal hormone also, such as all sex hormone is a steroidal hormone. Estrogen, progesterone, testosterone, androgen, cortisol, calcitriols. These are the steroidal hormone. Iodothyroid hormone includes T3 and T4. T3 or T4. T3 is more active than T4. That is triiodothyronine and tetraiodothyronine. Tetraiodothyronine is also called thyroxine. So these are the classification of different hormones which is released from the particular gland. So according to NCERT, in the NEET syllabus, these are the different type of gland. There is a hypothalamus, pituitary gland, pineal gland, thymus, parathyroid, thyroid, adrenal gland, which consists adrenal medulla and adrenal cortex. Adrenal medulla has the release the adrenaline hormone, noradrenaline hormone, and cortex consists the different type hormone. That is the zona glomerulosa releases mineralocorticoid, zona fasciculata releases glucocorticoid, and zona reticulus releases the sex corticoids. And the pancreas, testis, ovary. This is the heterocrine gland because it is both exocrine and endocrine. Because these are the released from the some enzymes, secretion as well as hormones. Heart also releases the hormone, atrial nucleatic factors. Kidney releases erythropoietin. Liver releases angiotensin. GIT, gastric inhibitory. GIT releases gastrin, secretin, CCK-PZ, and gastric inhibitory polypeptide, which decrease the motility and their secretion. And some is non-endocrine tissue also, and these releases the growth factors. And growth factor is responsible for the increase the growth and repair and regeneration. So these are the type of gland. So the first that is called hypothalamus. So hypothalamus is called master of master gland, and it is the supreme commander because it commands the different type of organs. Also pituitary gland. Pituitary gland is master gland, and that is the leader of orchestra, and the smallest gland, pituitary gland. But the hypothalamus is master of master gland. It is supreme commander, and hypothalamus controls the 9 hormones, and out of 9, 3 only increases, such as ARH, that is the adrenocorticotropic releasing hormone, or corticotropic releasing hormone, which controls the ACTH, adrenocorticotropic hormone. TRH, that is thyroid releasing hormones, which controls the TSH. GnRH, gonadotropin releasing hormone, which controls the FSH and LH. So it increases only. So ARH, CRH, TRH, and GnRH, these increases their activity. But out of 9, that is the 6 increases as well as decreases, such as GHRH, that is growth hormone releasing hormone, which increases their activity, growth hormone activity. So this is called somatotrophic hormone. So GHRH, somatotrophic hormone, and GHIH, growth hormone inhibitory hormones, which decreases the growth activity. So this is called somatostatin. PRH, prolactin releasing hormones, which increases the prolactin level, and PIH decreases the prolactin level. MSH and RH, melanocyte stimulating hormone releasing hormone, which increases the MSH activity, and MSH-IH, which decreases the MSH activity. So these are the hypothalamus which controls the hormones of the different organs, mainly pituitary gland. So this is the second gland is pituitary gland. Pituitary gland is the smallest gland and their weight is very small, that is around 0.5 gram, and it is a master gland, and it is also called the leader of orchestra. So this is the pituitary gland. Lower portion is pituitary gland and upper portion is hypothalamus. So the hypothalamus and pituitary gland attach to each other because it is a part of forebrain, that is diencephalon. So the ventral surface of diencephalon consists the hypothalamus and infundibulum then attached to the pituitary gland. So this is the pituitary gland, and the pituitary gland present in the sphenoid bone, which is surrounded by the sphenoid bone, that is basiosphenoid, which is called sella turcica. And this is the hypothalamic nuclei. So this is neurosecretory cell present in the hypothalamus. So the hypothalamus and pituitary gland attached with the help of by the portal system. So this is called hypophyseal portal vein, and this is called hypophyseal vein, and this is called hypophyseal portal vein. So this is connected by the portal system, and this is neurosecretory cell. So the neurosecretory cell is also called nuclei. It consists supraoptic nuclei and paraventricular nuclei of the hypothalamus. So the pituitary gland is divided into mainly three parts: anterior lobe, middle lobe, posterior lobe. But in human being, middle lobe is very less developed, and middle lobe attached with the anterior lobe. So this is called adenohypophysis, and it is around 75% of the whole pituitary gland. And the anterior lobe is called pars distalis, and the middle lobe is called pars intermedia. And pars distalis plus pars intermedia is collectively called adenohypophysis. And the origin of adenohypophysis is Rathke pouch. So Rathke pouch, what is Rathke pouch? The Rathke pouch formed the dorsal wall of ostomodeum, that is foregut, originated from the pharynx part. And neurohypophysis originated from the floor of diencephalon. So this is dual nature of origin of pituitary gland. So the anterior lobe of pituitary glands releases the total 6 hormones such as GH, growth hormone, ACTH, TSH, prolactin, FSH and LH. So it controls the different type of activity and acts on the different target organs. And middle lobes, that is MSH. In human being, middle lobe is very less developed. So this is the melanocyte stimulating hormone which controls the melanin pigment. And the posterior lobe, that is called neurohypophysis pars nervosa, it consists the oxytocin and ADH. Oxytocin is also called pitocin and ADH is also called pitrescin. And these are not synthesized in the pituitary gland. These are synthesized in the hypothalamus. That is the supraoptic nuclei of hypothalamus. There is a synthesis of ADH, and paraventricular nuclei of hypothalamus. There is a synthesis of oxytocin, but are stored in the hearing body. So this is the axon in the infundibulum, and this is the hearing body, and this is the axon terminal. It consists the pitocytes. So the oxytocin and ADH synthesized in the hypothalamus are stored in hearing body and released from the posterior lobe of pituitary gland. But other hormones synthesized in the pituitary gland except ADH and oxytocin. And this is the overall structure of the pituitary gland. And the function of growth hormones, that is, it increase the overall body growth. So it is a tropic hormones. ACTH, adenocorticotropic hormones, which acts on the adrenal cortex. That is adrenal cortex related present in the adrenal gland, which is present over the kidney, and it controls the mineralocorticoid, glucocorticoid and sex corticoid. TSH, which controls the thyroid glands, that is T3, T4, thyrocalcitonin, and the prolactins, which controls the milk secretion, formation and development of mammary gland. FSH, LH. In male, FSH acts on their seminiferous tubules to form the androgen hormones, and LH acts on the leading cell or interstitial cell, and it is responsible for there is a formation of a spermatogenesis with the help of androgen also. But in case of female, FSH acts on the Graafian follicles to form the estrogen and the ova formation, but LH acts on the corpus luteum and it releases the progesterone hormone which stop the further ovulation. So action of FSH, LH in the male and female is different. And MSH is responsible for black melanin pigment in the skin, and but mainly it is present in the fish and amphibia, but very less developed in their human beings. So pars intermedia attach with the pars distalis. So it is collectively called adenohypophysis, anterior lobe and middle lobe. And posterior lobe, that is the function of oxytocin and ADH. So what is function of oxytocin? Oxytocin releases from the posterior lobe of pituitary gland, but it acts on the uterus and milk. So it is the responsible for contraction of uterine muscle during the childbirth, parturition, and after parturition, it acts on the mammary gland to help the ejection of milk after suckling of the breast by baby. So the oxytocin also called birth hormone, and pitocin is also called maternity hormone, because pitocin is responsible for only secretion of milk, development of mammary gland during the pregnancy, but oxytocin is the responsible for ejection of milk. So pitocin secretion of milk, oxytocin ejection of milk. So see, this is the difference between prolactin and oxytocin. So oxytocin also used by the some milkmen due to the ejection of more milk in buffalo and cow. So oxytocin is called pitocin or childbirth hormone, and it is responsible for programmed childbirth because it induces the labor pain. And ADH very important, that is called adeno antidiuretic hormone, that is vasopressin. So this is two effect, that is pressure effect and antidiuretic effect. So ADH acts on their kidney, mainly in the DCT and collecting duct, and help in reabsorption of water. So there is a less urine formation. So less urine formation means there is a urine becomes concentrated. So the deficiency of AGH, that is diabetes insipidus, and there is a more urine formation. And second is the pressure effect. So it is called pitresin. So pressure effect, ADH increase the pressure on the blood vessel, so it increases the BP. And some disease related to the pituitary gland, such as pituitary dwarfism, due to deficiency of the growth hormones in their children, and gigantism, that is increase the growth hormones in the children, but acromegaly, that is increase the growth hormones in their adult. So acromegaly means the face, hand, skin, these are the large in size. And one is very important, Simon's disease. Simon's disease means there is a, in case of adult or in 15, 20, 14-year-old person, there is a face becomes dry and wrinkles and premature aging. And the second disease related to the pituitary gland, that is called diabetes insipidus due to deficiency of ADH, and the increased ADH causes high blood pressure, so that is high BP. So this is overall the pituitary gland and hypothalamus gland and their related hormones. Thank you.